Hey Scorpios, Sky here to give you guys an amazing July 2017 general tarot forecast. How are you doing? I hope that you're wonderful. I hope that you're finally healing, and I hope that you're finally coming into a place where you think that it's possible again, where you think that you can, start back on the path of manifestation and pushing forward and getting what you want and getting past the BS and the secrets and the lies and, finally stepping into that transformative phase, because I feel that July gives you a new reality that you never kind of experienced before. I think that you're in a place that you never thought that you would be, even if you've been here for a long time. Because you kind of had an expectation of yourself, or you kind of expected to be somewhere by now, or you expected to be more eccentric, or you expected to be more adaptable, but you still kind of find yourself in a place where you're like, wow, where's the transformation? Where is the reality that I wanted to give myself, that I've strived so hard to give myself what I finally wanted? And you're kind of getting an entire new mentality and an entire new philosophy towards the way that you achieve, towards the way that you make changes in your life. And this is really beautiful. I feel that you guys are getting something that you don't realize, or you're finally coming into contact with a reality that you never knew existed. And it's really beautiful to see that for you. You're going to have a feeling that the world is in your hands in July. You're going to have a feeling that you can really achieve anything, but the main thing for you is actually doing it. It's actually starting the process, actually giving yourself something that is wholesome, because you've wanted to give something to other people so badly for such a long time. And whether that was giving them something material, even giving them an emotional reaction, or giving them a bad experience, it's been all about what you can give other people. And now in July, that's kind of tested, because you're given a circumstance where you can finally give it to somebody, or where you can finally have that interaction with that person that you've wanted for so long now. But I feel that you come here, Scorpio, and you think this was never what it was even about in the first place. And I feel that this can be a lot better of a moment for yourself if you don't get harsh about it. I feel that you have a very strong potential to come into a reality here in July where everything hits you, and you finally might have that closure experience, or you finally might have that interaction with somebody, and you think, whoa, this is never what I even wanted. This is not what I thought it would be. And this can really go like one of two directions. You're gonna either feel like, why did I need this so much? Why did I use up so much of my energy predicting how this would be, or thinking about what I was gonna say when I didn't even want it in the first place? Or what you can do that will be really amazing and beautiful would be to kind of come there and let it hit you and be like, okay, this was it. This is what happened. Now I'm going to do it. I'm finally going to give myself that experience that I've never had before, because I'm here and I'm like transforming. There's such a transformative thing in you right now that is not seen in like what you think is transformational. It's not like the movies, or it's not like your past experiences of transformation, because there aren't really that many changes. There aren't really a lot of changes in your surroundings that are permanent. A lot of you can be traveling or vacationing or going new places. Almost every single Scorpio that I know is going new places or traveling, but it's on the short term. So you're probably seeing a lot about old circumstances through this. A lot of you are going to visit family, as I have. A lot of Scorpios that I know are visiting family in faraway places. So it's not really like a new experience through this, but it's going to be different than it ever has before. It would be nice to allow yourself to be pleasantly surprised during this time, instead of trying to find some kind of way to make it difficult for yourself, or trying to find some really old pattern of communication that puts you back in the cycle, in the cycle of anger, or the cycle of confrontation, or really like the cycle of dysfunctionality. I'm really looking forward to maybe seeing you guys not being the sort of dysfunctional straw that breaks the dysfunctional camel's back, Let it be somebody else this time. Let it be who it needs to be, or let it kind of run its course. There's a need for Scorpio in July to let things run their course. You want to be so transformational. I'm always talking about how Saturn was in your sign from 2013 to 2015. During that time, you had the option to have the really glamorous, the like life-changing transformation. A lot of you did, and a lot of you jumped back to where you were before it. So now it's about letting it run its course instead of trying to push things really hard and trying to take this leap of faith that isn't a leap of faith, like convincing yourself that there's a safety net when it's really like falling into a pit of spikes or something. I feel that a lot of you have had that sensation or that energetic feeling. Again, coming from Saturn time, and you're kind of thinking that you always have to leap into a pit of spikes now in order to transform, and it's not the case. That's pretty funny, and it's really accurate because there's something very impaling or something very prickling in your experience right now that feels to me like needles or being stabbed by something. And you don't have Ten of Swords or anything like that in your reading, so I feel that it's something that might be coming in the future or something that you've not been able to move past in the past. But it's like a healthy dose of strength to let something run its course and evolve naturally is what saves you, is what pulls you out of the dark place that you've been in. Because actually, Scorpio, you are in a much, much better place than a lot of people right now. Unless you've got a lot of Sagittarius or Gemini or something mutable in your chart, you're not really taking that much of a hit transit-wise. You can still kind of have this looming shadow of what Saturn was, and maybe Pluto hits you in some kind of weird way from Capricorn. But even if it does, in reality, the scorpionic part of your nature is quite untouched and quite easy right now, unless you choose to haunt yourself over periods of time when it was not. So again, the choice is yours this month in July. Do you want to just kind of let it be easy and consistent and non-stagnant, or do you want to make it difficult for yourself? It's really up to you, because there is kind of a demand to have a new way of communication with people, or a new, less volatile, less dramatic, less intense method of communicating what you are and what you have. If you're kind of reaching back into old cycles, old patterns of this more dysfunctional way of communication, you're going to keep giving yourself that cycle. But it seems quite easy for you guys to change that, and perhaps even enjoyable if you let it be. Can you let yourself experience enjoyment this month, Scorpio? Can you let yourself be proud of a goal that you have achieved? A lot of you are doing quite well financially, but again, due to that momentum that was set during the last few years and the extreme financial pressure, it's like it's never enough now. It's like you're always preparing for that collapse again. I feel that a worst case scenario for Scorpio right now is to make achieving your goals or getting from point A to point B something that's really difficult for yourself, or something that's not possible for yourself. Most of you have what it takes to get what you want. Most of you can create the experience that you want for yourself, but the money that you spend to do that, or the energy that you spend to do that, is that going to make or break you? It's not in reality, but it's very easy for yourself to make yourself think that it is going to. And you might as well spare yourself that trauma, because you're walking away from something. You're still in that phase. You've got the Eight of Cups. You still feel lied to. You still feel that there are secrets with the moon reversed. And it's very, very difficult right now for Scorpio to relate with other people. Ace of Cups reversed. I do feel that the Saturn retrograde is hitting you guys in that way, where it's peripheral. It's the semi-sextile angle coming from Scorpio. People are in your peripherals right now. People are not right in front of you, and they're not right behind you. They're sort of in the sidelines, so it's very hard to predict what direction relationships are going, whether that be romantic, platonic, or familial. You don't know where you stand, and other people don't either. You're actually not the focus of other people's experience right now, and I feel that that might be where this uncomfortable feeling that I get is coming from, because when Saturn was in Scorpio, you were the focus. All eyes were on you, Scorpio, and you kind of got used to that, even if it was not in a positive way at all. Like, you kind of... I see, like, a celebrity and, like, paparazzi and stuff, which is a signal to me that somebody thinks that everybody's watching them and that they have to put on a really good face. And that's not where you're at all right now, Scorpio, but for some reason you think that. It's a little bit delusional, honestly, because it's not the case at all. I'm a Scorpio. I'm going to call you guys delusional for thinking that. If there are people watching you, it's like their opinions don't matter at all and don't have any effect over where you're getting. Again, take advantage of this. Take advantage of this period of time where other people's opinions don't actually really matter, and you can just let it be about what you're accomplishing. and you can just let it be about the process itself, okay? And again, the world is in your hands. You have a transformation happening that isn't for the sake of transformation, is the thing with Judgment and the Eight of Wands like that, and just the general setup for Scorpio. Your transformation is about making it less about creating a transformation that isn't for the sake of struggling and springboarding off of some kind of rock bottom. Let it be easy and consistent for yourselves. I want to go ahead and look at this from the week to week for you guys so I can understand more clearly what's going on, as I do feel there are a lot of other messages for you. In the first week, Queen of Wands rooted down by Ace of Cups reversed. You know, a lot of you want to start dating again. For those of you who went through the breakup, and for those of you who are single and it's been a long time, a lot of you want to have that experience now, but there's a lot of discouragement. There's a lot of small signs. During Saturn and Scorpio, you learned to interpret the small signs because you didn't at that time, and it kind of was a train wreck, and you got kind of like stampeded and demolished because you couldn't see the small signs. So now you might be potentially over-interpreting people's messages, over-interpreting people's gestures. And even if you're not, it's like the gestures and messages are something very stressful to you, or something like not what you need, and you think that it means that they don't like you. It's not really the case, but honestly, Scorpio is not that admired right now. Again, there's nothing hitting you in a way that people are just loving you or hating you. It's a very gray zone type of thing, which is scary to Scorpio. Scorpio does not like the gray zone. I had talked to a lovely client recently about the gray zone in Scorpio, and I had a lot of very strong sudden realizations about how scared Scorpio is of the gray zone. You know, it's like you either want to be loved or you want to be hated, but you don't want for people to be indifferent. I think indifferent is the most scary thing for a Scorpio. But that's the reality. People are quite indifferent to you right now, and it's really throwing a boomerang at your ego. You know, do you need to be admired? Do you need to be hated? Do you need to be hated to create a situation where you like springboard and get above everybody? Or do you need to be admired so that you feel that you have purpose? It would be nice to find purpose in your own experience or in your own wants and desires. You know, I do feel, and this is interesting, this isn't usually a message that comes forward for me, but I feel that Scorpio men are relating easier to other people than Scorpio women. It usually doesn't separate for me, but yeah, I do feel that's just as a gut feeling that Scorpio men are having a better time in relating than Scorpio women. More about that later. That's just a random message, not really the direction that I want to go. But because Queen of Wands, it's like that eccentric energy that's sort of out of nowhere. So I feel that Scorpio men who want to be in relationship with women are going to have an easier time and might have a very easy benefit. Also, like Scorpio women who want to be in relationship with women, whoever, like, and even for regardless of orientation, there could be a very eccentric female figure coming in, whether or not that's a romantic relationship. But I do feel that this person can be helpful in maybe you getting out of your head, or maybe you experiencing something that's not so existential right now. But that being rooted down by Ace of Cups reversed, when speaking of the self, you know, you have this eccentric, passionate drive right now, actually, but it's not connecting with anybody. It's not connecting with somebody who can give you that in return. So you're feeling very drained for that reason. You know, it's one of two ways. Either a new fiery female comes in and helps you to develop and helps you to connect with other people, or that aspect of yourself, that more feminine fire drive, is not being reciprocated by other people and making you feel very very held down and burnt out, really. Into the second week, you guys have the moon reversed, rooted down by the Two of Wands. Please, Scorpio, use the deceit or the lies or the secrets to give yourself opportunities. Not opportunities to get back at people and not opportunities to rub people's face in it, but use it for yourself, because the universe has done something very lovely for you where you've actually been sort of victimized in some way, or you've been put through a bad situation, and now you have a lot of options. Every Scorpio that I know is scared of these options rather than using them to their advantage. They would much rather have the opportunity to prove themselves to one specific person, or much rather have the opportunity to focus on one thing and achieve that. Scorpios, become grateful for all these opportunities. And if you don't feel that you have opportunities, take a moment to look around and redo that perspective, because I guarantee that every single Scorpio walking the planet right now has a lot more opportunities than most other signs, okay? Because you've kind of done the time. You've kind of been in jail. You've kind of been trapped in something, and now you're getting the equal and opposite reaction to that, where you're very much the opposite of that. You know, you sort of adapted to being a prisoner, or you adapted to feeling trapped in something, and now it's the opposite. And please, 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 Scorpio, do not let yourself feel trapped by all these options. Do something. Do what you've wanted to do. Have a nice something with yourself, you know, just be what you want for once. Because you have an opportunity now like you've never had before, because a lot of the Scorpio experience hinges on people's perspective of you and the anger or love that they feel toward you. So during this very magical time, which might feel very stressful to you when that's kind of completely not even in the cards, you know, take advantage of that. Take advantage of not having other people's business, you know, sort of vomited all over you. And for a very, very small percentage of Scorpios who may have other things in their chart, you may feel very tied and connected to other people, but it's very much in the minority. And if you are experiencing that, I feel that you're ahead. I feel that you're past most Scorpios right now, and it will be a very big testing time where you either choose to let that get to you or not. I feel that, again, for the Scorpios who have a lot of people relying on them, again, I'm talking more like relationships, not so much with work. I feel that most Scorpios have some kind of reliance in work relationships because the finances are good. But for romantic and familial or platonic relationships, if you have a lot of people really expecting or relying on you, you have kind of come past this, but it's going to be kind of that testing period where it's like, what will you do? Will you choose to honor the ego, or will you choose to honor your authenticity? What's your expectation? What's your inspiration? All of those things have to come into alignment to serve your purpose and not be about vindicating yourself or avenging yourself, right? Third week, to speak a little bit more about the second week with the moon and stuff, yeah, to me, that's just what that is. Like, use any deceit from the past or any insecurity to propel yourself instead of getting back at people with it. You know, it seems like you might learn that, yes, you were actually cheated on with that person, or yes, that person actually took extreme advantage of you all those years ago or in the past, you know. But it happened, and you'll never be able to change that, Scorpio, so maybe use that energy for something positive. Third week, 8 of Wands reversed, rooted down by 8 of Cups reversed. Okay, 2 8s. That's your number, Scorpio. 8 is your number. So I feel a realignment with who you actually are coming in the third week. Once you actually embrace having options versus feeling trapped by the options, again, that's so transformational. I hadn't even thought about that. I just seen like judgment in your reading out of the corner of my eye. So yeah, it's transformational. But it's transformational in a way that you've kind of made full circle, or you've kind of finally come back to where you were before the trauma happened. I sense tears of joy or something like that in the third week, because you can get windfall. I feel a lot of you getting a really big payday in the third week. Around like the 21st, right when we go into Leo time, I sense that you'll sign a deal, you'll get the promotion, you'll get the bonus, or a lot more orders or clients than you expected in the third week. Really beautiful for that. But make sure that you're ready. You might actually need to, not for many of you, I think a lot of you are ready to have like a full-time overtime work experience where you really get a lot of benefit from that. But for those of you who need the rest, feel free to dial back a little bit. That's fine too, because some of you are wanting to walk away from the way that you make money, or wanting to change the way that you make money. It can also be walking away from a relationship. Some of you could be cheating. Yeah, there are a few Scorpios out there who might be cheating. Or being cheated on, but you've really got to understand where you were, Scorpios, when people were so bad to you or so malevolent and cheated on you, and now it's like you're seeing things from their perspective. Walk away before you do that. Walk away before you do that if you're in that monogamous relationship, you know. A lot of you, okay, because this is kind of contradicting the beginning of the reading, so I'm not going to say a lot of you, but some of you might be very surrounded. Okay, this makes sense. Some of you might be very surrounded by people who just want you for a sexual relationship or something that's not real. And Scorpio does not like this. Scorpio is very connected with something that is promiscuity, stereotypically, but it's not really the case. Scorpio usually needs some kind of emotional connection before they will sleep with somebody. So I feel that a lot of people might just be wanting you for that, Scorpio, and not wanting you for the emotional connection, and that's being a difficult experience for single Scorpios. But for coupled Scorpios, I feel that there are a lot of people from the same energy wanting you, and you have to think, if I were single, would I want this? Why do I want this when I'm coupled? And really take some time to understand that before you make action. It's not a very good time for action with other people in July as a whole for you, Scorpio. But unless the action with somebody has nothing to do with other people from your past or other people that you're with right now, it has to be something completely random, universal, and not tied to anything else. If it is, you're going to be setting yourself up for a difficult circumstance. Think about what you're walking away from in the third week as well. If you're leaving the job, if you're leaving the relationship, if you're leaving a location, think about what you're leaving behind. Because Eight of Cups reversed, when it's reversed, says to me that somebody has not adequately thought about what they're leaving or what they have to walk away from, and they're kind of like really quickly and indistinctly making that decision to, you know, jump out of a previous circumstance. Just take time to think about it, reflect on it, because fourth week brings you into that major arcana with Judgment, 10 of Pentacles, and the transformation has kind of happened by here. I feel that you'll have an experience in the fourth week that brings it home. That, as I said, we're making full circle here. Okay, and it can be a financial transformation, or it can be a familial transformation. Again, traditional values is something I always think of with 10 of Pentacles. Some of you might be thinking about divorcing or thinking about adopt. Some of you could be thinking about adopting as well. I see that some kind of really big change in the family sphere. It could be, it can also be inheritance. That could, I feel that very strongly for a lot of Scorpios. Or parents, for those of you whose parents are still alive, you might be having a huge transformation in their wealth or resources. And you could be inheriting something from, or unexpectedly, it could be. So that could be nice for you. Even for those of you who don't inherit like resources, that energy is around you. The energy of inheritance, the energy of receiving something from somebody, okay? So think about what it is that you want to get from people, because remember, when you inherit something, you don't really have a choice. You know, it's not, I mean, there might be, I'm not really an expert on that type of thing, but you'll get it and then you have to deal with it. You know, you don't really have the period of time to think, no, I don't really want that. You have to at least deal with it, you know? So that can happen energetically as well. If you're choosing to be with people that you know are really low vibrational, you're going to get that. You're going to inherit that because you made the choice to do so. So think about what it is that you have to inherit in the fourth week. Besides the radical transformation, you know, there's a commemoration here as well, because, you know, you're thinking of like the last 3 or 4 summers, probably like back to like 2013, like where was I? What have I learned? It's good. You don't have to spend too much time there, but you know, there's a commemoration, as there is with Cancer, during this summer for you. And, you know, don't dwell there. Take it and leave it, and become stronger from it. Strength is your central theme, Scorpios. Congratulations. I'm so happy to see this for you. I'm giving you a round of applause because it's about time that you got something like that as a central theme. As you'll see at the end of this video, I'm providing the links for like the last 3 or 4 months of readings, because it's so reflectionary in Cancer. And I really want you guys, if you have time, to go back and listen to those readings if you want to, because there is a huge transformation that you can see just in the readings. So check out like maybe back to March, but especially like April, May, and June Scorpio readings, and compare that to what this is now. There is a huge shift, and you guys will get a lot from that. But anyway, round of applause for you. You're finally getting strength back. Don't go and do something that drains it all out of you. You know, relating to other people, relating to all those people from your past. You know, there's a beast to tame within yourself in July that is your ego. I feel that your ego is taming in July, and that you're doing it very gracefully, and that you finally understood what it takes to do that. And I'm so happy for you guys. Embrace something that is eccentric within yourself. Embrace the artistic notion and start to structure that in a way that you can control it more, and in a way that you can use it more, because there is an artist within you, Scorpio, that can be a lot more than you realize right now if you just tame the things within you that tell you that you can't, or tame the things that need to prove it to other people. Please tame the beast within you that has something to prove okay? But it helps you in a way, because I could get all cliche, I guess, and be like, only prove things to yourself or whatever. But do take time to at least reflect, like, what do you have to prove to other people? What do you have to prove to yourself? Is that the only thing that's motivating you right now? Time to get motivated by something that's a bit more inanimate and has less to do with other people, okay? I love you guys so much. If you would like to book a private reading with me, you can click the center of your screen right now. Likewise, I've put like 2 videos, I think, where you can just kind of jump back very easily to the past readings and reflect a little bit. See where you've come back to this reading, use it as a central hub, whatever works for you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would so appreciate that from you. And I love your likes, comments, and all the emails and stuff that you send to me. I love you guys so much. I'll be talking to you in August. Bye.